Thank you all for being here, and thank you to God's House Tower and A-Space for selecting me as a finalist. My name is Catherine. I'm a horticulturist, a musician, a maker, a workshop facilitator, and an avid amateur historian. My project is called Plait Schools. This is a brand new project which I've put together especially for this bursary, but I've been thinking about it since last summer and I'm really excited to share it with you. Yes. Have you ever thought about how hats are made? I've got a piece of vintage plait here which is delicate, but I'm going to pass it around if you wouldn't mind. Thank you. And think about the time and skill involved in making that plait. In the 1800s, women across the country were plaiting all day and all night to put hats on people's noggins, food on the table, and a roof over their families' heads. Here you can see a collection of straw platters at a convention in 1885. Straw plaiting is something that you can actually do walking. So you'd get gangs of women walking about their towns and villages, chatting and plaiting. On top of that, they were making very, very good money. So they were often bringing in more money than their husbands or their households entire combined. On top of that, these women could afford quite fine clothing for working class women. And of course, that meant some people weren't happy with that. So I'm going to just read a quote for you. Girls should be encouraged to go into service rather than idle about their doors plaiting, which led them to neglect their homes and tended to immorality. It does sound quite funny, but I actually don't think we're that far away from that point of view today. New slide, please. Today, straw plaiting is on the Critically Endangered Heritage Craft list of the UK. So there are fewer people than I can count on my fingers that are professionally listed as platters today. So we are genuinely a generation away from losing this history of these women and the skill. And I want to do my utmost to preserve it. I am very fortunate, this way around, to have Veronica Main be my mentor. So she has an MBE for her services to straw plaiting for the hat industry and endangered crafts. And she wrote the book that I quoted from, which is there, which was the catalyst for my project. So that's the mini history lesson over. So what is Plait School, aka how I will use the money? I want to recreate the sense of community that the plaiting women would have had in the 1800s. Thank you. I will do this by hosting a series of workshops. So I'll do multiple workshops teaching you how to do a 3-ended and a 5-ended plait. We will also make sculptures from pre-plaited materials, and I have a photo in my book of an amazing plaited diorama, so if anyone wants to see that at the end, you can come and find me. And also a small banner making workshop for banners you can hang on your wall, which I'll explain later. Plaiting straw, when not being dependent on it for your income, is an incredibly mindful activity because of the repetitive pattern and nature of the skill. So it's really calming and meditative and excellent for things such as anxiety. It's also something once you learn, you can take home and enjoy at your leisure. I also think anyone that comes to these workshops would leave with a bit of a sense of self-worth because they've learned a new skill. I deeply want to create a safe space for women, and that's all kinds of women, to gather, be comfortable, be themselves, and learn something without pressure. I will also, as well as the workshops, start a brand new podcast called Plaiting and Chatting. It will be a short series of podcasts, where I talk to local creative women about their practice while I teach them to plait, and we talk about the straw plaiting history. So first I'm going to change my hat. Right. First we have Jo Fisher. I'm going to let that get spelled out. Okay. She is a poet, writer, editor and artist living in Southampton, and her writing has been turned into the neon light we have above the bar. Next we have Nikki Anderson from Stag, which is Southampton's tiniest art gallery. It's also part of BPRA, which is Bedford Place and Polygon Residents Association, and they offer artists and creatives a way of exploring their practice. Then we have in the middle is Jo Harmer. She's part of an amazing organisation called Folk Active, and she is an established and experienced workshop leader and dance researcher, reviving social step dancing in the local area. Then we have Reba Roche, who is a writer, performer, musician, theatre maker, poet, and drag artist based in Hampshire. She's written 3 stage shows and has been commissioned by the likes of Artful Scribe. And her list of what she's done is incredible. I just do not have the time to do that right now, so she's great. And finally, we have Yutong. So I've not been pausing for you to spell the names, I'm so sorry. Yutong Zhang, who is an independent curator who lives in Southampton. And she works closely with artisans who live in rhythm with nature, exploring how everyday practices convey cultural memory and lived knowledge. And I'm just very, very excited to talk to all of them. So yes, that's what I'll be doing, hopefully, between April and July. But what about the showcase, I hear you cry, in March 2027? For the showcase, I will be working with a multidisciplinary artist called Amy Scott Pillow, and she explores social connection through a lens of heritage and historic custom, which is perfect because I want to recreate a Plait School for the showcase. So here's an image of the Plait School, somewhat idealised one, and this is my final hat. So a Plait School is where young children would learn the trade. So for the showcase, there will be a large faux fireplace with old and vintage chairs and some hay bales for people to sit on in the round so they can try plaiting for themselves. I'll make a large fabric banner reading Plait School, which will hang from the ceiling, I hope. And then the mini banner workshop I mentioned earlier is where they'll come in and they'll be hanging alongside. All the work from the workshops will be on display, and there hopefully will be a screening of the podcasts because I plan to film them as well as record them. There will be a collection of plaited items for people to inspect, possibly this hat, and books for people to read and inspire them along with any of my research or creations I make in my own time. I dream of making a plait so long that it starts at the welcome desk at the back and leads you all the way up to the showcase space. So, thank you, right. This is a project about women, for women, and I cannot express how passionate I am about this project, and I hope that I genuinely have inspired you all in some way. I want to be part of this community and build a mini one within it. I want to share knowledge and create a safe space for women in a very uncertain and frankly quite a scary time. And it's important to me to remember, and I say this to myself whenever I'm feeling a bit wobbly, most people are good. And with that in mind, if I win, or not for that matter, I look forward to chatting and plaiting with you. Thank you.